The final message in this series around privilege is the privilege that we have to look only at the surface. And I come back to that well-known slogan from the referendum here in Australia just recently: if you don't know, vote no. Now, that's a really clever slogan. It's easy to remember. It taps into a particular way of thinking. And often when we've got problems of our own, we do not want to think about anything else. We want to stay focused on our own issues. And that's what that slogan tapped into. Oh, if you don't know anything about that, well, just let's leave it. But what also that slogan does is it is encouraging people not to know, to only look at the surface and rather than digging deep. Now, there was a lot of information around the Voice referendum here in Australia. There is a lot of information around the conflict in the Middle East. Like that's a long-standing conflict. We can look at both the referendum issues, the issues in Gaza and Israel. We can look at them just at the surface and land ourselves on one side or the other. And again, I am not getting involved in the politics of it all. I'm just saying how people think. However, before we pass judgments, before we decide we're going to have a foot in one camp or the other, it's really important that we don't use the "all I don't know" idea, that we dig a little bit deeper. The internet's full of information. Because one of the things that it's really important to understand, that those of us who have the privilege to not be involved in those sorts of conflicts, we also, again, I come back to this, we also have the responsibility not just to sit at the surface level and pass judgment. If we want to talk to either the referendum, if we want to talk to the issues in Gaza, if, say, in our workplace, some of those concerns, and particularly the ones in Gaza and Israel at the moment, are coming to the surface because people will sit in both camps there for legitimate reasons, and there may be underlying tensions in your workplace. We owe it to our teams, we owe it to ourselves to take the privilege that we have as leaders to work through the legitimate concerns that people have around these conflicts. We have the privilege in this age of huge information to not sit at the surface, to not just look at issues in a superficial manner. We have the privilege of knowledge. We have the privilege of information. It's really important that we use it and we don't just go, oh, I don't know. So if your workplace is struggling with some conflict at the moment that has come out of the referendum, that has come out of what is happening globally, then have a chat with me. I've put a link in the comments. Come and have a chat. We can talk through some strategies. I can come in and work with your team. 45 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever you feel is best. But let's remember that we have privileges in this situation. We have privileges because of where we live. For me, I've got privileges because of my skin colour. We might have privileges around age and around ability. But remember, when we have privileges, we also have responsibilities. And if there's nothing I can get through to everybody from these last 4 videos, remember, when we have privilege, we also have responsibility.